mathematicians. Today we're going to be learning about fractions, more specifically about comparing fractions, improper fractions, and mixed numbers. To get us started, let's go over the equality and inequality symbols. Firstly, we have the equal sign, which means that two numbers on both ends of it are equal to each other. Then we have our greater than sign, which means that the first value we're given is greater than our second value. Then we have our less than symbol, which means that the first value we're given is less than our second value. To get us started, we have 1 1/6, and we have 11 over 8. Now, 1 1/6 is a mixed number, so we're just going to rewrite it because here we have an improper fraction which we can write as a mixed number. If we do 11 divided by 8. Now 8 goes into 11 one time with a remainder of 3, so 11 over 8 is equivalent to 1 3/8. Now we have two mixed numbers here, 1 1/6 and 1 3/8. But their denominators are different, making it difficult to compare. That means we have to take our denominators, which are 6 and 8, and find the least common multiple of our denominators. So our multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and so forth. And our multiples of 8 are 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, and so forth. Now, our least common multiple is 24 because that's the smallest multiple they have in common. So, our least common multiple. So that means we're going to take our two mixed numbers and we're going to write equivalent fractions to the fractions in our mixed numbers so that we have fractions that have a denominator of 24 for both, which will then make it easier to compare. So starting with 1 1/6, we know that if we multiply our denominator by 4, 6 times 4 would give us 24. But whatever we do to the denominator, we must do to the numerator as well. So the whole number stays the same, but 1 times 4 is equal to 4 for our numerator, and then 6 times 4 is equal to 24 for our denominator. Now let's take 1 3/8 and also multiply our denominator so that we get a denominator of 24. We know that 8 times 3 is equal to 24. Whatever we do to our denominator, we have to do to our numerator as well. Our whole number stays the same, but 3 times 3 is equal to 9, and 8 times 3 is equal to 24. So we have 1 and 9 over 24. Now, we're going to rewrite both mixed numbers with our new fractions that both have a denominator of 24. So we have 1 and 4 over 24, and we have 1 and 9 over 24. Now 1 and 4 over 24 is less than 1 and 9 over 24, which means that 1 1/6 is less than 11 over 8. So here we have another example, and we have 5 1/4, and we have 6 over 7. Now here we have a mixed number, which means that this exceeds a whole because we have 5 wholes and 1/4. Here for 6 over 7, that's only 6 parts out of 7, which is not even a whole, automatically making 5 1/4 greater than 6 over 7 because this isn't even a whole, when here we have 5 wholes and 1/4. So we have another example here where we have 1 3/4 and we have 14 over 8. Now we have a mixed number and an improper fraction. So we're going to take our mixed number and rewrite it, but we're going to take our improper fraction and rewrite it as a mixed number. Now that would be 14 divided by 8, and 8 goes into 14 one time with a remainder of 6. And that's how we would get our mixed number. Now, we're going to compare, but these two fractions in our mixed numbers have different denominators. Now, we can't use the whole number to compare because they both have a whole number that's 1. So we have to rely on our fractions. So we're going to take our denominators, which are 4 and 8, and find the least common multiple. So our multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and so forth. And our multiples of 8 are 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, and so forth. Now, our least common multiple in this case is 8, because that's the smallest multiple that they have in common. So we're going to make it so both these fractions have a denominator of 8. Starting with 1 3/4, in order to get a denominator of 8, we have to multiply 4 times 2. Whatever we do to the denominator, we must do to the numerator. Now the whole number stays the same, but for our numerator, 3 times 2 is equal to 6, and 4 times 2 for our denominator is equal to 8. Now here, we already have a denominator of 8, so we don't have to do anything to 1 6/8. Now we're going to rewrite the two mixed numbers we got. We have 1 6/8 and we have 1 6/8, which are exactly the same. So that means they're equivalent. That means that 1 3/4 is equivalent to 14 over 8. So here we have another example. We have 15 over 7 and we have 3 over 8. Now 15 over 7 is an improper fraction because the numerator is larger than the denominator, making this greater than a whole. And 3/8 is less than a whole because we only have 3 parts out of 8, which means that 15 over 7 is automatically greater than 3 over 8. And that's it for comparing fractions, improper fractions, and mixed numbers.